Hey everyone, what's going on? So I just got back from Omaha and I got on CNN, and the main story, the biggest story on CNN.com and other mainstream media articles is the story about 11 people drowning on a tourist boat that capsized in Missouri. And if you've been following my channel, I've been talking about these signs and symbolism and synchronicity things that I have been having. And if you understand Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words and phrases, you can understand a little bit more of how this all works. And it stems back to ancient knowledge and, the belief that God created the world by merging the letter with the number and so on. But look at these titles of my videos even. Talked about the synchronicity involving my dad and drowning, and I had synchronicity with Family Guy and the band Drowning Pool. And I've recently covered the death of XXX Tentacion's cousin who supposedly drowned in a pool, and how I had synchronicity with the band Drowning Pool. And I also covered a tiny bit about the death of this hockey player named Ray Emery, who supposedly drowned in a pool. And what's interesting about today then, so in my video just yesterday, I even mentioned how possibly we're going to get another story that is, about drowning. So I just want to play this clip just to show you, and then you can check out the link in the description and watch this video. But I even said, possibly we're going to get another story about drowning. And then now today we're getting a story about 11 people dying on this boat, and they all drowned. So maybe in 9 days there's something really significant. Bridges, maybe there'll be another bridge collapse, or, possibly there's going to be another drowning story, or maybe something in this area. So, and what I mentioned before that in regards to bridges is interesting, because right now they're telling us that 11 people died. Let's see here. 11 people died and 7 people were taken to the hospital. 11, 7, and a big number in my videos that I was talking about it was connected to my dad and also my son, who was born on January 17th, a lot like 117, and the word bridge in Gematria equals 117. So, 11 people killed. There was 31 people on this bus, and 11 is, the 11th prime number is 31 even. So it has an interesting sync. And, just below this story, the next story was about Olympic figure skater stabbed to death. And this Olympic figure skater, look at his name. His name's Dennis. Dennis 10, a number even. And my dad's name is Dennis. And that's what I was talking about. I made a whole video about the synchronicity to my dad and drowning. And then, the mainstream media, we get a big story about drowning. And then an Olympic figure skater dying or getting stabbed to death. How interesting. And of course his name, what's his name? Dennis, can't even remember now, but whatever his name is, Dennis 10, his name equals 36 in Gematria. Let's show you really quick. Dennis 10, 36, died 36 days before his birthday. This happens again and again and again and again. I have thousands of videos showing how this happens all of the time in the mainstream media. These people's names, Gematria, syncs up to the day that they died. And I honestly haven't even truly looked into this very much. I just got home. I'm actually exhausted and I'm going to go to sleep. But I just had to make this video proving a point, and then I'm going to look more into it. I don't even know when I'm going to have time, because tomorrow I'm actually DJing a pool party that I talked about, how I hope no kid drowns, because there's this weird synchronicity going on with drowning. But this boat was also a duck, a ride the duck boat, and so it was a duck tour boat. And what's interesting about all this is that this hockey player who died, they put emphasis on him playing for Philadelphia all throughout the media. And what I talked about in my post with him was that it reminds me a lot of the movie The Mighty Ducks, because the goalie in The Mighty Ducks, Goldberg, in the first movie, when Gordon Bombay drives out on the ice, he tells him that he's going to be moving back to Philly, you know? And then he never moves back to Philly in the movie. He never once moves back to Philadelphia. They never mention it again in the movie. It makes no sense, right? And he was the Mighty Ducks. And then we got the duck boat thing now. And there was also that duck bus crash that happened in Seattle in 2015, the same time Pope Francis was in America. And I had synchronicity with that back in May. There was Sam, my friend Sam, had posted this video about a duck theme, and I had synchronicity with it because that same day that he was talking about, I actually randomly was watching the Mighty Ducks on TV. And so, or somebody told me that I look like Fulton on the Mighty Ducks. And, you know, it's the same day he was talking about this duck theme. And that duck bridge, that duck bus crash happened on a bridge, the Aurora Bridge. Aurora Bridge equals 519. Think about that in regards to bridge symbolism. And in that video, I talked about how in June this year, my dad just so happened to be in Seattle, of all places, the 206 area code. And we got this story of these people drowning just outside of Branson, Missouri, that equals 206. And I talked about how the Chicago Cubs equal 206, and they're synced up to the 9/11 symbolism, and how the Yankees upset the Mariners just after 9/11, all scripted by Gematria. And the Mariners had 116 regular season wins, and that's important because they tied the Chicago Cubs record as well. So Seattle's in the 206 area code. Chicago Cubs equal 206. And now we're getting this story about Branson, Missouri that equals 206. Also, what is absolutely even more ridiculous is that just last night I signed up for DirecTV Now, and I thought that it would work on our Android box, but apparently the Android box is rooted, so it doesn't work on the Android box. And I sat there for like 2 hours trying to figure it out, trying to make it to where it would hide the root so I could watch it. Nothing would work. So I pretty much am just out $10 to get the DirecTV Now, and no big deal. But I could still get it on my laptop, so I figured, well, I paid $10, I might as well try to watch it on my laptop. And for whatever the reason, the channel I clicked on had the Mighty Ducks on, and I sat there and watched the Mighty Ducks for like a half an hour. It even started right around the time that they wouldn't pass the puck to Adam Banks, and then later Fulton hit the winning thing, and then they won. They made the playoffs or whatever because they couldn't tie. So it was like midway through the Mighty Ducks or whatever, and I sat there and watched it for like a half hour. And then I made all them videos in regards to drowning and my dad. And then now today we're getting a duck boat crash and a story about a guy named Dennis who's also a figure skater, making you think about hockey. And then we had the hockey player who drowned, and it was connected to Goldberg, the goalie of the Mighty Ducks. I mean, just crazy stuff. Also tonight, after we went to the zoo that I was talking about, we left the zoo about 6:15-ish something, and I had to pick up my friend, and we went to our drummer's house, and because he's actually quitting the band and he's moving to Arizona tomorrow, and so we went and had like a little going away party for him, or they had a going away party and we just went. And they have like a nice backyard pool, like a saltwater pool and everything. And there's only my daughter Claire and my drummer's girlfriend's son was there, and then another younger girl who I don't know who it is for sure, but they all wanted to go swimming. And I thought, man, this sucks because I have had all the synchronicity to drowning, and it's like I don't want one of these kids to drown, especially one of my own kids. And so they went swimming, but man, I stood right next to the pool the whole time, like watching them like a hawk. Like I took my phone out of my pocket even because I had a bad feeling that I was going to have to jump in and save someone. It's just like the weirdest thing. So thankfully, nothing like that happened, but just interesting that that situation would even arise. And now later tonight, I'm going to be DJing a pool party, and I talked about how my dad can't swim, and my mom's the manager of the pool that I'm going to be DJing the pool party for. So, synchronicity at its finest. You know, just like I said, possibly we're going to get another story about drowning, and then we get 11 people drowning in the pool or drowning in the whatever river it was near Branson or lake or lake, not river, near Branson, Missouri. So if you're new to this channel, please check out the links in the description and learn to apply what I'm talking about for yourself. It is probably hard to understand if you don't experience these synchronicity things, but I'm telling you, like, if you just follow what I've been saying, there's something connected to my own life that somehow syncs up to these media articles, and it's sort of showing me more of what is going to happen in the future, if that makes any sense. I'm picking up on some type of frequency or vibration, because in Hermeticism there's the belief that, signs and symbolism and numbers, they all carry a certain vibration, and with that, the world can be, things can be manipulated if you understand how the vibration works and how all of that, signs and symbolism and everything else play a big part into creating a different world, I guess, essentially playing God. So anyway, I'm going to leave the video there. Just like I said, I wanted to make a short video. I'm like super duper tired. I haven't slept in days, and I have to work in the morning, and then I got to DJ that party, and then I have to DJ a wedding on Saturday night. And I'm going to be gone all day Sunday doing the same thing. I got to work, and I have to take my DJ stuff to some guy that's going to rent it out. I have so much stuff going on, and it always seems to happen whenever these synchronicity things kick in, and then I don't have time to look into them, and then when it comes around to it, I'm too late, and then the information gets disorganized because I don't have enough time. But another thing in regards to these 11 people supposedly drowning, the word boat in Gematria equals 11, and there was 31 people on that boat, and the 11th prime is 31, and ride the ducks equals 197, and today is 19/7, which is 197 is the 45th prime number. The word bridge also equals 45. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if we get any more drowning stories, or we'll see if there's a bridge story that is important. But anyway, have a good one. Peace.